All right, y'all. Drake dropped a new music video, and guess what? He's still sending shots at Kendrick Lamar. But here's the thing: the diss didn't hit the way he thought it would. Fans ain't rocking with it, at least not all the fans. And today we're gonna break down why this move might have backfired against Drake. This is PeePodCove reaction. Welcome back to the channel. And I appreciate y'all coming through. Want to support the channel? Hit the like button, share the video. I appreciate it. Want to go a little further? Hit the crash app. If you like what we got going on over here, support the channel. So this is a reaction from Fantastic Hip Hop. They do very good reaction videos and content over there. Go over there, like them, follow, help support all our YouTube creators on here. Yeah, I know how Drake feel about us creators because he knows we're important, and I believe that's why he threw us in the suit. I mean, other than the, but yeah, we in the suit, so it's showing that they see us, right? So Fantastic Hip Hop always brings it. So let's not waste any time. Let's get to it.
Now, when it comes to Drake, what we just witnessed is definitely up there as one of the most embarrassing things he has ever done in his entire career, and I am serious because really, with Drake's new Nokia music video, after trying to use this song, what it will represent, and this entire moment to start a shift and turning point in his career, where altogether Drake will finally start to win back what Kendrick Lamar has taken away from him and try to reclaim anything that he used to represent. Well, somehow in this moment where Drake did everything he possibly could to diss Kendrick Lamar in this video, all he actually ended up
You know, it's crazy because I saw I have a fan video where a lot of the fans were kind of always upset, but they weren't happy with the video that Drake gave them. And one of the girls in the video said that, "Oh, I like Drake's dance move." And I'm sitting there like, well, those are all Kendrick's move he took from his previous video. Were you not paying attention? Like, come on.
up achieving is showing once and for all that there is one king in rap and that it will never be him. And now, before we go any further into all of this, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It helps me out a ton. And now, as the Drake fans are getting more annoying than ever because of all of this, really be sure to leave that like so everyone can hear how, even with the most calculated effort from Drake and Ack, they are still about to take another massive loss. And so now, with all that said, when it comes to Drake and the Nokia video, with this being Drake's big musical play to start off this new chapter in his career and this moment where both as a rapper and in terms of the narrative, he wanted to get back control of everything. I mean, with what is a major statement just from the stakes of it all, what we definitely saw over everything else was the type of creative that Drake is in this time. Which is not a good one, but let me slow down. As after Kendrick Lamar's all-time great run, and after events like the Super Bowl or the Grammy-winning Not Like Us video, with Drake responding to all of the visual symbolism and disses with straight up knockoff copies of Kendrick Lamar and Dave Free's visual imagery, I mean, you just can't make this stuff up if you tried. And I don't know who on Drake's team told him to do this because with all of the obvious callbacks to what Kendrick has done, I mean, while Drake thought he was getting disses off, he really just ends up taking another all-time pathetic title in hip-hop as he turns into the first rapper who got embarrassed so bad that really now he wants to be the guy who has humiliated and really ended his career. And of course, with all of this, the major problem is, it gets to a point here where it doesn't even seem like you are dissing him back, but it just starts to look like you are copying him because you have no ideas. Because really, with how many story beats that Drake copied from Not Like Us, which no matter what you want to say, from getting SGA here, which feels just like DeMar DeRozan being in Not Like Us, and because of the placement and how Drake spends every single second of this thing copying Kendrick pretty much, despite the actual connection that Drake and SGA have because of where they are from, it still feels so forced because every single thing here is a knockoff of what Kendrick did to other big choreographed scenes, which also mirror the Super Bowl as well. I mean, it is just so obvious what Drake was doing here that it loses any sort of nuance or complexity that it had. And really, that whole owl thing, which Drake fans think he has now won the beef over, and once again think that Drake is a mastermind for trying to up Kendrick's visual from Not Like Us there, ultimately, any of the storytelling or progression that would come with that means absolutely nothing, because just like with this entire moment we are seeing now, there's no build up to make any of this feel like it was earned or like it's this really smart and genius move that is going to win him anything back. And beyond the disses themselves, I don't understand how Drake even thought doing all of this was a good idea. Because really, beyond all of these embarrassing Kendrick Lamar imitations, just in terms of the fact that Drake is trying to prove that the disses from these very songs he is copying ruined his career in the paperwork that he is so into pushing and pushing right now, I mean, as he is once again using his art to do the same thing that he is saying Kendrick did to end his career, beyond just the video, he is really making the thing he cares about more than anything else just look like more and more of something he is trying to trick us with. And when we look at this moment from all these angles, it's hard to even take Drake seriously one bit because everything he seems like he's doing is just an absolute joke. And when it comes to the whole narrative that Kendrick is using the beef to get attention still to this day, people on Drake's side can never use that again because we have never seen a more desperate and petty use of this beef than right within this video. And really what Drake is showing is that he has lost so much and that he is so bored of everything he has done because maybe he's even realized that it's bad, that the only thing interesting he can talk about is the Kendrick beef. But what's really so baffling with this is that Drake took the last song he had a chance to become something bigger than this entire back and forth, and instead of trying to win fans back, all he has done is tie the song back to the beef and Kendrick Lamar with this awful rip of the Not Like Us video, really. And I think this move is going to be looked back on as one of the most embarrassing moves from Drake and one of the most confusing because he is really showing how he is a joke artist with no creative skill. And compared to his last videos, seeing how he has changed from using gimmicks to now copying Kendrick Lamar, it is just not a good look and really shows how Kendrick has this man in shambles. But still, even with that, when it comes to Drake,
I'm not against what Drake did in the video. I'm not against any of the subliminals he took. You know, as a reactor, hip hop carnivore, I love all that stuff. I think it's good for him. He's somewhat fighting back. But until you drop that lawsuit, you're not really gonna gain my total what was it, energy, because what you're doing is not part of the culture. You can't call somebody something else, and when they call you something worse, you run and tell the teacher. That's not what this is about, you know. But I'm not going to sit here and say it was all bad or all wrong. But can't y'all see him spiraling? He's literally using all Kendrick's ideas, the things he's doing. When have you seen Drake collab and have like a bunch of people dancing and moving in a group like that? You see all the dancers out there. That is something he's never done. And all of a sudden he's doing it now. Where do you think it's coming from? He's copying the dance, the antics, which is cool. I'm cool with it. But you're kind of showing people that you're losing your creativity. You're basically becoming Kendrick without becoming Kendrick. And your fans, some of your fans don't see it. Some of them do, but not all of them.
While the Nokia video has missed as an artistic statement and a winning play from Drake, it has kind of done something, and we are about to see the full and annoying image.
And I do notice a lot of his fans are comparing Nokia to Hotline Bling. Now, I remember when Hotline Bling came out, it was a hot song, and a lot of people rock with it. I'm not going to sit here and say Nokia is close to that, but if you feel that way, you feel that way. You know, I can't change how you feel or how do you think about something. So
impact of this move more and more, because all in all, when it comes to Drake's plan to just become the absolute worst thing we have ever seen in hip-hop, and overall this goal that Drake has to just try and discredit Kendrick after everything he has done, Nokia has created an anthem for the losers of rap that is being fully pushed by Drake to gather around the delusion that is coming from his entire crew and fan base, and from all of the weird Kendrick taunts to just the fact that now it looks like Drake is trying to make this record bigger and bigger. He is bringing his fan base to a place where they are all behind him, and now that he has this support, with this bigger plan he has, which more than just the song itself, with both what him and Ack just did. In terms of just annoying everybody's timelines with the most ridiculous things, they have done it, which really accomplishing any of their goals is a first, and for them, they really have managed to just take over the entire hip-hop world and everything around them with the most loud and obnoxious discourse. And now when it comes to this storm that Drake and Ack have created, Well, Nokia is the moment that they wanted to win everyone back with, although it's really only done the opposite with how embarrassing it is. Everything started here with Ak's interview with Ye. And now, while I will not be showing any of the clips from this disaster for obvious reasons, because we just can't show any of that, with Ak running to Ye, and from the time Ye opened that door to when they
I did some of the academics Ye interview, or whatever you want to call that disaster, and I'm gonna have probably up on the channel tomorrow. It's gonna upload today, I'm thinking today or tomorrow. But anyway, this was a move I think that academics had to make, because at the end of the day, he's never got an interview from Drake. So the fact that he's interviewing what we consider one of Drake's ops, Kanye, when he wants to be, now he's going to switch to Kendrick. Now, I'm not sure if Kanye was just going after Drake because he was the guy at the top and he feel like he should be at the top, because all of a sudden now that Kendrick took down Drake, he's going after K-Dot now. So I'm not really sure what Kanye's his motive is, but we know he out there and he's causing catastrophic viral moments, if you ask me, for the way he's been acting and the things he's been deciding to wear to aggravate Black culture. That's how I look at it. He only needs us when he running from those people that put him where he at, but I digress.
can't show any of that. With Ak running to Ye, and from the time Ye opened that door to when they just spoke back and forth while Ye stood up and Ak just awkwardly and nervously looked at him, with this moment that if you showed somebody even just a few years ago, they would be baffled by what they were looking at. Ak did what he does best here, which was use this all-time low moment from Ye and not just give him an interview and space to start even more problems, but for what matters to Ak and the center of hip-hop right now, Ak asked the perfect set of questions to Ye to make sure that he said everything he needed so that they had all the narratives they could ever want to take down Kendrick Lamar, and at the same time give Drake more credit than any other rapper has given him since the beef. And now with all of these comments, which there are so many that it was really even hard to keep track of, over everything else, what we can definitively say is that both Ye and Ak were really lighting up when they were saying awful things about Kendrick. And from Ye saying that Kendrick Lamar is an industry puppet and he was chosen by the labels to take down Drake with Not Like Us, and that ultimately with the entire era we have seen that he has been used by the industry, and altogether with this and with Kendrick being seen as the king of hip-hop, Ye admitted that he is jealous at him because nobody can be number one because he is in his own eyes. So Ye also saying that Drake is 1,000,000 times better than Kendrick and more important than he will ever be, and then saying that when it comes to where he stands with Drake himself, after Ak tried to get the truth to show Drake fans and OVO once and for all that they are all on the same side, Ye did exactly what he needed to hear, as when describing where he stands with the guy, Ye said that Drake is like a family member who you don't mess with, but despite all their beef, he explained how they are not that different and that they are having some of the same problems, as during this rant where he was telling Ak that the industry is trying to ruin him and that they want him to fail more than anybody else, he made it very clear to tell the audience that they are doing the exact same thing to Drake, and that in his eyes, this whole beef was awful for him to watch because of this very reason. And of course, by going on this rant where he was really defending Drake, whether he realized it or not, he ended up dissing Kendrick even more by saying something like, why do they want somebody with no hits like Kendrick to do the Super Bowl? And so all together with this rant,
that was just all about hate. Ye don't really mean that, because he knows how powerful Kendrick is to hip hop. And then the fact that Jay-Z is the one that gave Kendrick that opportunity, he's gonna find another way to shit on that too, because him and Jay ain't in the right place right now. So he's got reasons to be negative for no reason. We're gonna call him Negative Nancy, because Drake is Karen. This is Negative Nancy. Who's close to a Karen, but
by trying to align Ye and Drake as these victims of the machine who were being ruined by them, and with the overarching point that Ye drove home, which was really warning Axe fans and Drake fans that for playing on this side of the matrix that Ye thinks he is so brave for being on, that because Drake is a part of this same group, he will one day be looked at like him. When we really put this interview into perspective, what Ak created here was a friendship with Ye, which he is talking about in his commentary for the interview, and And he is saying that they are very close and they are talking behind the scenes, which should also tell you everything you need to know. And also with this and in the greater picture of this entire interview, Ak got every single thing he needed from Ye to make sure that Drake has never had more support in this time where he is trying to make a comeback as an artist, and he is trying to win over fans and make the industry look like they are the problem and not him. And again, when it comes to this side of hip hop actually understanding how to create the problems that they want to, I mean, they were actually finally able to somewhat successfully do something, although it is the most annoying and disrespectful thing you could do to discredit hip hop as an art form. As now with this interview, they have really brought together the entire community of defenders and people who think that there is always some grand plot and theory behind everything, all under the pretense to think that Drake is really on the right side of things and that he is trying to stand against the industry just like Kanye is right now before it is too late. And as Ye kept making such a focal point...
Come on, let's be real. Drake is not trying to stand up against the industry, right? He's in for his self-aggrandizement, right? He ain't here for us or artists. You know, we all know it's all about not like us and him losing a battle. Ye, we don't even know what he's fighting for because he ain't really telling us. All he's saying is this specific people hate me and I don't like them. We don't know why, but he's not giving us a reason why. But when you show up wearing a hood, you're giving us PTSD and then you want us to follow you. It's like that thing when you always ask black people, if you see somebody running, what's the first question you ask? I ain't asking nothing. I'm running because you running. And when we get there, I'm going to ask what we was running about. But if you see somebody running with a black hood on like that, are you following them if they start running? Leave me that comment down below. I want to know. Are you following that person?
Kanye is right now before it is too late. And as Ye kept making such a focal point in this interview to explain how this entire rap beef was put in place by the industry so that Not Like Us could be used in the future to end Drake's career like other disgraced artists with troubled backgrounds have been already. Again, while most people are not giving...
Now, that right there, that is something I could say yes about, because you can see it coming from now where Not Like Us will be what ends Drake. And the fact that Drake has Not Like Us in court filing and possibly going to go to court is basically a destruction of his future demise. If you ask me, that's exactly what's going to happen. And instead of Drake let it go and let it ride and try to change the way he do things, he's going to consistently keep nagging at Not Like Us. It's still in the top 10 almost a year later because of you want to basically sue. I mean, if it wasn't for Drake, Not Like Us would have probably been out of the charts already. But the fact that he keeps pushing and poking, here we are, right?
Giving any mind to Ye's now admitted jealousy to Kendrick and now shared anger with Drake. To both the Ye and Drake fans and all the other people who don't want to be real about reality, they are looking at this as an eye-opening moment for them that is just making the entire community around Drake more delusional than ever specifically, which again, we are already seeing the direct impact of that on the timeline, which has never been more annoying. And all together with all this combined delusion is making them see this beef in a song like Not Like Us as not just a great moment in rap beef that changed everything, but as this pre-planned effort from the industry that was made to end Drake purposefully. And with Ye going on tangents and sharing theories that he believes about the music industry, which includes such things that labels and the NFL are taking down big artists like Drake and letting these quote-unquote smaller artists like Kendrick have these bigger moments so they can control the artist more, which again, while we can't show anything, the way Kanye explained this is really one of the most crazy things I've ever heard. And beyond that, this whole small artist narrative they are trying to push on Kendrick is literally ridiculous, considering that he has some of the most successful rap albums, songs, and moments of all time. But aside from that, as we are in an era where there is no nuance to everything, people are instantly believing the things Ye is saying, and the Drake community is now using this guy as their spokesperson, which in of itself should just show you how far gone they are. And so from here on out, from the desperate people who are supporting Ye to all of the angry people who just want Drake to be right, Now, unfortunately for us, we are going to have to deal with them using the talking points and really groundwork that has been laid out by Ye in this very interview more than anything to try and discredit Kendrick going forward and keep painting this picture that Drake has been wronged by the industry and that this entire beef was a crazy plot to end his career and not just him not being prepared and failing within a musical back and forth. That's all together with this victim mentality of Drake being pushed to the highest level, and now with all of these desperate communities wanting these failing artists and names just to be a little right or get some sort of a win. I mean, we are already seeing it now. Things are really about to get more annoying than ever in hip hop because really in this time, with what Ak has done, he has connected the two biggest names in rap whose careers are on the downfall, and so now right alongside these narratives that are being pushed, what Drake and the guys around him have made sure is coming right alongside the most annoying and obnoxious effort to take down Kendrick Lamar's success and victory in this time than ever, is actual music on Drake's end, and not just an album like we saw with SSS For You, which had 20 songs that pretty much came and went. But now Drake is trying to create an anthem with the one song that people and really his desperate fan base are pushing to be a major #1 song with Nokia. And now after this track has been trying to stay around the top 10 of the charts for so long, now Drake has created his grand plan to do everything he possibly can to make sure that this record goes #1. Now he is releasing a full-fledged music video for the track, and with this he is trying to give the record all the support it needs to be everywhere and so it can reach that #1 spot once and for all. And really with this video now reaffirming all of the annoying things Drake is doing, in this time where Drake is building his victim complex and with Ye's comments which are directed by Ak, and even on top of this with his suit which is building up, altogether, Drake has never put on a better act to try and convince his fans and everybody else that he is really a victim in the industry who has been wronged by them. And now with this record, beyond all of the misdirected anger that this entire community keeps throwing around as they crash out more and more about Kendrick Lamar and the rest of the rap game's success, now with Nokia being a song that is fully being pushed by Drake, OVO created the best vehicle they have since the entire beef to bring this entire group of people together and to try and push Drake back to the forefront of hip-hop and not just bring him back into the conversation of respected rappers, but even more laughable than that, they are trying to flip the script.
Come on, let's be real. Let's be real. Until Drake dropped that lawsuit, who's gonna see him as a respectable rapper that got into a beef, got his butt kicked, and then decided to sue? No one on this side is gonna ever side with Drake on that. Now, I'm not a total Drake hater. I just hate the antics and BS he's trying to pull right now. He's trying to make people feel that he's going and trying to fight UMG for artists, or it's things that colonizers do, where they make you believe that you're fighting for one thing, but at the end of the day, you're fighting for something totally different. He's fighting for himself. He's fighting for Not Like Us, instead of fighting for, actually, UMG's the one protecting artistic creativity, which most artists out there pray for and hope stays alive, and he's trying to kill it. If he wins this defamation suit, he's gonna kill being able to create as an artist, as a
script and make Drake look like the hero as he is defeating the industry with all of this. And again, while to everyone who has seen what has happened and now the reality of how this beef has went, this just looks like an absolute joke. And it's actually almost disrespectful that they are trying to change narratives like this. So all the losing parties who want to drag this beef out and try to change its outcome, whether it's Drake, Ak, or Ye, or any of the desperate people around them, with all of the noise from the narratives to the music coming out, which is all just trying to make everything we have seen about Kendrick and Drake and the success and failure of both artists illegitimate. Now, for the first time since Drake's entire career falling apart, the effort they have is somewhat organized, and with the energy that is now not just coming from Drake and Ak, but also someone like Ye, who no matter how bad of a place his career is in, I mean, people are still lining up to hear what he has to say. I mean, overall, this entire group is now in motion and trying to trick everyone into thinking that they are the heroes in the story of hip-hop and that everything they are telling us is right. Meanwhile, in actuality, all these artists and people are just jealous that their own decisions have gotten them to their respective points of failure, and now there is no turning back. And so altogether with this, while Drake and Ak, and with the help of Ye, have started what they really want to be another round of beef within a much different way, and despite the combined delusion all these people have, These efforts are just never going to change what has happened in hip hop and what Kendrick Lamar is standing for. And no matter how much they annoy everyone, none of this is going to change or take away the real impact that we have all seen from real greatness. So now with all of this said, let me know. First off, let me know if you think the Nokia video is the worst video we have seen in hip hop recently, because the more I think about it, at the very least, I do think this is one of the weirdest things we have seen in so long. And after that, also be sure to let me know. What do you think about what we have just witnessed from Ack, Drake, and Ye? And what do you think about this wild interview we have gotten from Big Ack and the music video from Drake and all together? Where do you think all of this is going to go, and how far and annoying will this side of hip hop get before Kendrick just ends any sort of conversations they're even trying to get off right now again? Now, I really can't wait to hear what you have to say about all of this. And now, if you made it to this point in the video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It helps me out a ton.
Hey, that's fantastic hip hop. Go over there, like the video. I'm gonna definitely try and remember to leave the description down in the description, a link to the video so you can watch it without me talking over it, because I love to conversate. I love to talk to y'all. I'm hoping y'all here to hear me talk and my perspective on this video. Now, Drake really dropped a diss video aimed at Kendrick Lamar and an internet reacting to it. And I mean, we got to talk about this because this looks like a midlife crisis, right? Certified lover boy, like a midlife crisis. But you got to really think about this. I don't know if this will be able to push Nokia to #1 on the charts, because there's a lot of competition in there, and that competition's heavy in there. But I am not going to say this is the worst video. The reason being is because of what he put in there. Now, a lot of people may look at it and say, oh, he's being petty. But at the end of the day, by him doing what he did, brought a lot of eyes to the video. So a lot of people are going to watch this video because, oh, he's taking shots at K-Dot. I want to see it. All of a sudden now he took a now okay, if he had made this a straight club video or just him doing his natural antics, I don't think this video would have got as much eyes as it got. But the fact that he's taking shots at Kendrick and he has a lot of mixed things in there, like the way Kendrick does it, all of a sudden now people are dissecting this video. It's like, when was the last time you dissected a Drake video and looked at it and says, oh, that's what this is from? That's never really happened. And all of a sudden Kendrick does the Super Bowl and he does that stuff, and he can see what his fans and everybody's talking about. He saw what people say, oh, the Super Bowl performance was the worst performance ever, but it got over 100 million views already. I'm not even sure where it's at, but he passed 100 million views, in record time. So at the end of the day, I'm not going to sit here and say this is the worst video I've ever seen. I've seen worse. I think it's art, because when you do art is expressive. You're supposed to figure it out. Art is, we look at the same situation differently. We have different perspective on it. And these are things that I feel we need. We need things to make your mind and your brain think about things. Things just shouldn't be always plain, right? Now, let me know how y'all feel about the video. Fantastic Hip Hop did a great job. Now, I'm not going to be a total hater with Drake because of a lot of people. I just hate the things he's doing and what he's saying and the ways he's trying to get there. So let me know down in the comments. Want to support the channel? Hit the Cash App. I appreciate it. Hit the like button. Share the video. I appreciate y'all coming through and checking me out again. PeePodCove. Now, I'm gone. So I'm going to see y'all on the next one. Peace.